Hey guys, what's good? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be presenting an argument on why you should not go to college if you want to become a UI, UX designer, or front-end web developer. Now, this is a touchy subject, right? Because you have opinions on both sides. And I've never really come out this strong before, but this has always been my opinion. And this has been a conversation that I've been having with my wife. And we're not really in fully agreement. My wife and I, but I'm bringing her over. But I've been talking with friends and things like that. And this is something that I feel I need to present because it's what I feel. It's how I'm going to be building my brand going forward and all the educational resources and things that I'm going to be providing. And the epidemic that's out there in terms of millennials, starting their careers so heavily in debt and at this bare minimum in terms of skill set that it's only right that I come out strong in my opinion and really state an opinion on this. Now I have my notes here because I've been thinking about what I wanted to say, but I know I'm going to forget a lot of things. This is a huge topic and it's almost like you want to be at a round table over an hour to discuss things back and forth. But the purpose here, if you're upset at the title or upset at what I'm about to say, this is probably not directed towards you. This message that I have is for folks who have maybe like myself, who have been thinking, is there another option besides school? Do I have to get a school? And those who are intimidated by the fact that the industry, there are folks that are out there that have degrees and they're better than me and so forth, right? And you hear these arguments that folks with college degrees are on the average make more than those without college degrees. I'm not, that's totally out of context because my wife and I, we're in the top 1% in earners in California and we're both non-college graduates, okay? So I'm not even talking about that, I'm talking about tech, all right? If you want to become a UI, UX designer, front-end web developer, and the things that I talk about, you don't need college. Or in fact, you don't need college, don't go to college, right? Now the question have been answered on whether or not you need a degree to get a job like myself as a UI, UX designer or whatnot. And I've answered this before, the answer is no. You don't need a college degree. Folks my age and a lot of folks my age are self-taught, and it's clear you don't need a degree. You're actually lucky if you're in this industry because this is one of the few industries that that reward skill and experience. Those are the two things that you need, skill and experience, and you can do that on your own outside of school. But I have my notes here. Let me just look at that. So the 3 reasons, and I want to touch on these 3 reasons, but the 3 reasons why you should not go to college is because 1, bloat, and we talked about this in my last video, is an overabundance of non-essential material that you learn in college. There's a disconnect between the real world and what you learn in college. Many times you get a degree and you still hit the floor at a ground level where you have to learn to build up. Okay, so bloat, over an abundance of non-essential material and things that you learn in school based on the job that you're going after. Okay, number 2, time. Okay, on average, college is 4 to 6 years, and if you go to grad school, which many people do because they find out that that degree isn't powerful enough, I have to go to grad school to kind of bump myself up and make myself a little bit more valuable than the next guy. So you're talking 4 to 6 years, maybe 8 years, okay, of schooling. And then thirdly, the biggest one of all, and you guys all know this, I don't have to remind you, but it's the cost, okay? I just saw something, 75 million millennials are struggling with debt. The college debt right now is over $1.1 trillion, okay? And it's some of the worst debt in the world because you cannot get rid of the debt like through bankruptcy, okay? So let's look at this. So I just stated those 3 points. Now let's look at the best case, the worst case, and the best case and the worst case scenario in 2 situations, in self-taught and the college grad, okay? Worst case, best case. And when in UX, we always go through this when we're going through a customer journey and someone's going from going through a particular task flow, we always go through the sunny day scenario and the cloudy day scenario. It's like the sunny day scenario is when everything is going smooth. The cloudy day scenario is when everything can go bad. Okay, what are the options? So look at the sunny day scenario, the happy day scenario for the college grad. You go to school to 4 years, okay, and you get a degree 4 years, okay. If you're lucky, your college debt is around $44,000, okay, $40,000 to $50,000. That's best case, all right. And then you get a job at making 45, if you're lucky, $45,000 to $65,000, if you're lucky, and you go off and you start your career. Now that's best case scenario. You started your career off $40,000 to $50,000 in debt. If you have a spouse and you guys both went to college, you're talking on average $100,000, okay? And if you're being realistic, there's some folks who are from 100 to 150K in debt, okay? And that's the best case scenario, all right? And you're still at a ground level and you're starting your career. Best case scenario for the self-taught guy. You spend $1,000, if that, for the year or two, busting your tail, learning everything that you can, okay? Let's say you spend $2,000 in course material and resources and things online, all right? And after 2 years of this, you land a job, okay? So you're $2,000 in debt, best case scenario. If that, you can get away with $500 and learn, and so much free material. There's YouTube out there. You can, just study YouTube for a year or so, right? Best case scenario, and you get a job after a year and a half or 2 years. Best case scenario, you started your career faster than the college grad, and you start off with a clean slate. You barely have any debt, all right? Versus the college student who have student loans on top of tons of credit card debt, I'm sure that you've acquired 3 or 4 years of schooling, all right? With resources and things you have to buy, all right? So that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario of these two situations, the college grad. Worst case scenario, you finish school 6 years, right? And then it's hard for you to find a job. Now you're in debt. Worst case scenario, your debt is not $44,000. Let's say you went to a better school, right? Now it's upwards $50,000 to $80,000, okay? Worst case scenario, you're struggling to find a job, you're living at home and whatnot, and you feel, you know what, let me go to grad school, because if I go to grad school, it'll hold off some of the loans and the payments that I have to start paying back. So now you go to grad school, you tack on another 2 years, and you tack on another $40,000, $50,000 in grad school money, based on where you go. Now you come out of grad school and you're now over $150,000 in debt. And most of the time when you're going to grad school and you're in this particular field, you're going out there, and from what I've seen, you're going out there and you're looking at some sort of UX researcher position. And this is for another topic, but in my opinion, now you just put yourself in a field that is expendable. Okay, long story short, when companies go to cut resources in UX, they're not cutting hands-on full stack designers, folks who are involved with the product day to day. They're going after researchers, okay? Folks who are working here and there and doing long-term projects that aren't really hands-on with what's going out next week, and they're cutting those positions. That's for another topic, stay tuned. So now you put yourself in a situation where you have all this debt and you're struggling to pay this off, and worst case scenario is you start to get dinged on your credit, and that stops the process in terms of you being able to purchase a home and so forth, all right? And now you're in this drudgery, this circle. I hope that's not you, okay? Worst case scenario for the person that's self-taught, they spend $1,000 to $2,000, $5,000 over 2 years, and you cannot find a job. I guarantee, worst case scenario, if you put in the effort 1 to 2 years and you spent $1,000 to $2,000 to $5,000, I guarantee you're very close to landing a job, okay? Now, let's say you land a job. Bam, that's worst case scenario. You land a job and now you're $5,000 in debt after 2, 3 years, right? Worst case scenario. Now, let's just say worst case scenario, you can't find a job and you say, I quit. I don't want to do this tech stuff anymore. I guarantee you, based on your efforts over the years in busting your butt and hustling every night, you have built up so much knowledge that you can take into a digital marketing world and become a digital marketer, entrepreneur, and start diving into those areas, okay? And if that doesn't work out, you can pick up a sales book and get into sales and have an unlimited earning potential in sales, right? That's worst case scenario. I don't think that would happen if you're determined and you bust your butt. You're guaranteed to find a foot in the door in some place. And so here's my thing. Once you get your foot in the door, it's only the beginning. It's only, a job is only a means to an end, right? You get in a job, you start to build up your skills using those resources, and you start networking, you parlay that into other entrepreneurial endeavors, okay? So that's my point. Now, for the college grad, the worst case scenario, you get dinged on your credit. Here's the thing, when you become my age, early 40s, and you start building up some money, you want to invest your money, right? My wife and I, we have money in the bank, and you know, we're looking at the big boys. The best return on your investment is to start investing in property, investing in real estate, right? For a higher than 10% return on your money. You can't do that in stocks. And so our thing is real estate. Everybody wants to do that as they get older and wiser, but you can't do that if your credit score is dinged up and you have all this debt outstanding, and you can't get a loan. So you're caught in this endless cycle of drudgery. And unfortunately, that's what's happening with a lot of people, a lot of millennials and folks growing up. So in summary, my message to those of you who are seriously believe in what I'm saying, and you know that I speak honestly, and you know where I'm coming from, is if you want to get in this industry, do yourself a favor. You're better off watching my YouTube videos for the next 4 years and busting your tail and trying to get into the industry that way, rather than going to school and starting off, in the best case scenario, in $50,000 in debt, okay? But trust me, if you watch my videos daily, okay, my 5 to 10 minute videos, 15-minute videos daily, I guarantee you, if you stay with me, you're going to land a job, build up your skills, and get your foot in the door, and at that point, allow you to grow and build your experience, and then you're off to the races. So that's my message for you today. Hopefully it gets you to start thinking more about this. Anyway, hopefully this was interesting. If you have any questions, always check out my website, mlwebco.com, and shoot me a question. Use the contact link on my page, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Thanks guys, we'll talk soon, peace.